Hello, in this lecture we're going to be looking at licensing commercial players. So all of the commercial players that are available from ZeboSignage require a license to function at the end of their 14-day free trial period. The licenses are available on two separate models. We offer a perpetual license where you pay once and the license is valid forever. In that model, you're purchasing a single version of the software, so you might be purchasing, say for example, version 2, which means you can download and run any version 2 release of the software. However, when version 3 is available, you would need to pay a small upgrade fee in order to convert the license to be able to use it with version 3 players. The other option we offer is subscription licensing. With subscription licensing, you pay annually or monthly to use the player. However, you can use any version of the software you wish with that license. Licenses are purchased and managed within ZeboSignage's customer portal. Licenses are held in pools. You might have one or more pools associated with your account. Pools are identified with a unique identifier that is in the format of an email address. It does not necessarily need to be a valid working email address, but we advise not using an address that contains your name or other personal information. Most customers will use online licensing. With online licensing, the player communicates with the Zebo customer portal server once every 14 to 30 days and each time it is restarted to check its license status. The player needs to be able to make an HTTP request to the license server. The response from the license server is validated, and if valid, the player is licensed for a further 30 days of operation. It's therefore essential that the date, time and time zone are correct on the device for the license to be validated. That's not the only reason though that you would need the date and time to be correct, because if the date and time is wrong, then your device may not be able to make HTTPS connections to your CMS, and also may show the wrong content because it won't know the correct date and time. If the player cannot get a response from the license service but still has time left in the last 30-day license it acquired, it will continue to be licensed and will simply try again later. This means that the player will not immediately go unlicensed if there's temporary internet connectivity issues or if there's a problem with the license servers. If a player does go unlicensed, it will stop collecting new content from the CMS and will continue to show what it has stored locally, which is typically 2 days worth of schedule and layouts, after which it will show the default layout. It will keep trying to license in the background and will restore communication with the CMS once it has acquired a license. Online licensing is the most flexible licensing option, since it requires minimal user involvement to obtain a license and allows you to move licenses between devices if, for example, a device fails. The easiest way to get your license information to the players is to set up the display settings profile in your CMS with your license pool address. This allows authorized players to collect that address on their next collection to the CMS, which they then use to license with in future. You can check license status in Customer Portal and or by enabling the commercial license column on the displays page of the CMS, assuming that you have XMR working. Let's take a look and see what it looks like inside Customer Portal when we manage our licenses. So from the My Products page, we select Android licensing and we can see a list of pools that we have available in our account. We can see in the top right hand corner the number of licenses associated with the pool, and if we select it and select View Devices, we can see the devices we currently have licensed. Here the pool has 2 version 1.8 licenses. We want to license a version 2 player, so unfortunately the licenses we have available here won't work. We'd need to purchase some version 2 licenses or some upgrades. Let's look again now that we've purchased some version 2 licenses. If we go back into our license pool, we can see there's now 4 licenses available. And if we view devices, we can see that there's 2 version 2 licenses and 2 version 1.8 licenses. Let's check the license status on our Android device. So click anywhere on the screen and then click Status to bring up the status screen. We can see that licensed is true and that we have a trial license currently. Let's go to our CMS and set up our display settings profile with our license pool details. So we go to display settings and find our Android profile and edit it. In the email address section, we fill in the details of our license pool. We then save our changes. We then go to the displays page and tell the player to connect now. This relies on XMR to function. We could simply wait for the player to perform its normal background check. We then do check license, which forces the player to check its license now. Again, we could wait and have the player do this in its own time. We can see that the commercial license field is ticked, which means the device has a license. If we check the status screen on our Android player, we can see that licensed changes from true to true full, full indicating that we have a full license. If we now look in Customer Portal under Android Licensing, select our pool and then do View Devices, we can see our device and its license that has been assigned to it from the pool of available licenses we have. If you were to replace the device in the future, you'd select the red trash can icon to delete its license record so that the license can be reassigned to a new device. If online licensing isn't an option for you, for example if your players have no access to the public internet, then you can instead purchase an add-on for your license pool that allows the CMS to act as a license server as well. We call this on-premise licensing. This works by sending requests for licenses as a text file out of band from the CMS to Customer Portal. Customer Portal then signs the license requests if appropriate, and the response is sent back as a different text file which you then load into the CMS. Full documentation on on-premise licensing is provided when you purchase that add-on. All our commercial players come with access to support for issues around installation and licensing the software. If you have any problems, then please reach out to our help desk and they will be able to assist you.